Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Myrtle Beach, down here in the southeast of the United States of America, getting ready to kick off 100 laps of short track action right here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. It's a half-mile track, and temperatures couldn't get much better. 75 degrees is the air temperature, and man, this is going to be a lot of fun here tonight. A new build for these cars, new tire model, and well, we're going to have to wait and see what happens out there on track. Joining me, as always, my good friend Rick Hammond Jr. Rick, how are you tonight, bud?
Hey, buddy. Happy hump day. We're halfway through the week. We're here at the beach, man, and I kind of missed the beach this year, so I'll take this.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, listen, we've got 100 laps, as I said, right here. That's going to be about, well, a little bit more than 50 miles here around this point. 5.2-mile track. And so far, no sign of the guy who won the first 3 races here, and he is first in points. Colin Allman is not in the server at this time. Second in place right now, points, Chris Stump, Jeff Dillon in third, Brian Hacker, AJ Rogers round out that top 5 here at Racing for a Cause. This is Racing for a Cause. We are live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, as we will be for the rest of this season every Wednesday night, bringing you all the short track action And well, right now, I'd love to talk to the guy that's making this one all possible, but well, he's doing a little bit of a driver's meeting right now.
Got a lot of changes here tonight, Chris. After, well, let's just call it the paperclip. Cautions are going to be counting here tonight, but there's something special here tonight. I mean, obviously, we're going to go with the same rules except for the cautions. The caution laps will count this week. There's going to be, pit stops for fuel only, no tires allowed. But iRacing put out a big update here for the super late models. We're under a new tire model here, and Andy is taking a little extra time to warn these guys that, you got to be careful because we don't know how these tires are going to react. It's brand new today. It dropped today. So he's just warning them, if you burn up the right front and blow it, it's on you. So guys are a little nervous there. We've been watching practice here. There's an extended practice here, and it's been pretty good. We've seen some people hit the wall. I think it's going to be good, though, during race conditions. And right now, Brian Hacker's sitting on top of the practice scoreboards right now in that number 1 position. That's somewhere that we're used to seeing that 11 machine. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes on tonight.
Yeah, as it looks like they are doing themselves a little bit of a pit party here just to kind of warm up with each other out on track. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a moment, pay a bill, and then we will be right back. Back live as we are getting set to go here. Do want to thank Andy Lambert once again. He is the one that's well, making it happen twofold here tonight. He is the race admin, also tonight's race sponsor. Would like to get him up here in the booth as they have completed the drivers meeting. Andy Lambert, Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, guys, how are you?
Good, bud. Well, you could have stayed out on track.
I can't multitask.
Yeah, well, I've actually saw you trying to get on pit road a couple of times there during practice, and yeah, well, that didn't go over so well. First of all, I want to thank you very much for sponsoring tonight's race. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the foundation that's right across the hood.
So the Crohn's and Colitus Foundation, we've been using this foundation for Racing for a Cause for I think all of the super late model seasons, and we started it even in the late model season. So quite a few seasons we've been using this foundation, making awareness for Crohn's and Colitis, and it's a bowel disease, internal bowel disease. It affects my wife, it affected her mom, and it affects a lot of people. A lot of people have it that you don't even know they have it, and they keep quiet about it. But it's treatable, but it's not, and it makes people very tired, and it makes life just a little extra difficult on top of all the other everyday stresses. So I thought it'd be a good idea to raise awareness for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Myrtle Beach is one of my favorite tracks. Plus, if you saw on Facebook today, they're tearing down the grandstands at Myrtle Beach, which is makes a sad day for short track fans. So I figured Myrtle Beach would be a good place to put this race on for a foundation that means a lot to me.
Well, absolutely, Andy. And shifting gears a little bit here, I know you have spent a little bit of time out there on the track. Can you tell us what this new build feels like out there on the track?
It's not terrible. There have been some complaints of the car being sporadic. To me, it feels, me personally, you can definitely feel the horsepower difference. You're carrying more speed into the corner, so you'll tend to overdrive it. I feel like you can feel the car turn better using the throttle and the brake to get the car to turn. So that's a plus. And then other than that, it doesn't feel terribly different to me. I noticed in the setup they got the spring package is a little bit more realistic. I don't know about the shock package so much, but Overall, I think it's okay. We'll see how it goes for the race. I'm a little worried about tire fall off. We're not really sure how the wear is on these tires, but I think if everybody takes it easy, they should be okay for 100 laps.
All right, bud. Well, I'm going to let you get out there, catch about 6 more minutes here of practice, and good luck to you tonight, Andy. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys, and thank you to Turn 3 for everything you do for Racing for a Cause. I really appreciate it.
Andy Lambert, admin here, going to be driving the number 72, getting ready to go. As I said, Rick, it's just about 6 minutes left of practice here, and well, we know qualifying doesn't happen anymore. It only happened on the very first race. Now they invert the top 10 on the field.
Yeah,
from last week's race. I should finish that, I guess. Yeah.
Yep, from last week's race. And that's something I think that's pretty cool. I mean, Andy's always trying to find a way to keep these guys on their toes, Chris. And, you know, season after season, you know, at one point it was taking away the fast repairs, and then it was, you know, taking away the, you know, tire stops. You know, one season might have only been one set, and the next season there was nothing. And we've done heat races, we've done all kinds of different things, inverting fields and everything. So kind of interesting on the way he does it. So the top 10 qualifier, or top 10 from the previous race. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how they line up. And always looking to keep these guys on their toes, give them something new to do so the season just doesn't wear on and get boring, you know, season after season.
Well, that's the biggest thing. And yeah, I think they're on to something here. Here we are, race 4 of the evening, or of the series rather. So really, what are we, about a third of the way through already, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, well, let's see. We got 5 minutes to go. That tells me we have enough time for a commercial break. Guys, we're going to be right back right around the corner.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
We're back live, and I want to thank you all for coming on out to the Turn 3 Racing Network live here on YouTube just about every single night of the week. Tonight, it is the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model action, and we are going to be getting started here in about 45 seconds. Rick, everything is kind of figured out at this point. These guys had a 2-hour practice before this race is scheduled to go green. Is there much more they can do to learn these cars any better than they have?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, if you were lucky enough to be home today, Chris, maybe they, once the patch is done, they went in and did a little bit of testing. I know Al Smith Jr. himself did some practice here during the test drive to see how it was going on. One cool thing that iRacing has implemented now is when they are down for service repairs, you know, whatever you want to call it, to bring out an update, they do open up the test drive servers. And it's kind of nice, too, because not only can guys go out and test cars that they are used to driving, but you can also test the car that maybe you don't own yet. So, you know, this is something that I wish that they would bring in full time, so that way you can test the stuff before you actually get to purchase it and find out that you made a mistake. But so I think these guys, I think they got it figured out, Chris. There was a lot of people here in practice. They took advantage of that, and we're about to see what it's like. We got 100 laps here tonight.
Yes, we do. And man, we are getting ready to go ahead and grid them up. So let's kick on the grid music as they start firing them up. All right, and our field is going to look like this. Starting on the pole tonight in his number 5, it is going to be the driver out of Illinois. It's Scott Austin. To his outside, it's the driver of the 17, and that's AJ Rogers. Starting in 3rd place tonight, driver of the number 13, it's Zach Cold Beer Coyer. Starting to his outside, it's going to be the 05 of Dylan Blankenship. Jeff Dillon picks up the inside 3rd row. Bill Martin going to start to the outside in 6th spot. Bill Martin, one of the quick guys here in practice. In 7th position, it's going to be the 11 of Brian Hacker. Justin Rigsby picking up the 8th starting spot. Colin Phillip, he's going to start in 9th position tonight. And to his outside, it's going to be Thomas Kellum in the number 83. Andy Lambert's going to start in 11th spot. Al Smith Jr. going to be starting in 12th, Rick.
And James Tompey qualified the 01, or going to be starting the 01 in 13th position. On his outside, it's going to be the 80 of Rob Liddell. And then in 15th position, it's the 44 of Mark Pravert. On his outside, the 34 of Doug Wysocki. In 17th position, it's going to be the 85 of Jeff Stiles. Next to him is going to be the 54 of Rex Hoyle. AJ Hamlin is 18, going to be starting in 19th position. On his outside, Michael Pravert in the 36. 21st is going to be Mike Holzclaw in the 22 car, with Wild Wayne McDuff the 3rd in the 1 in 22nd. Then we have in 23rd, J-Mag, that's Jimmy McIntyre Jr. in the 81. 23rd, Travis Pryor in the 2 is going to be in 24th. And the last row is going to consist of the 26 of Kevin Dillon, going to be starting 25th, and 26th tonight, coming in shotgun, the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton.
As we get ready to go, pace car on the pit road, and green flag is right around the corner for the first time here tonight at Myrtle Beach. Green flag flies, we go green.
AJ Rogers making a power move on the outside in the 17 machine, putting a lot of pressure on the pole sitter tonight at the 5 of Scott Austin. Those guys banging door to door, trying to figure it out. Right now, Austin back in the lead. Here comes AJ Rogers once again on the inside, coming out of 4.
Yeah, AJ Rogers tried the outside, tried the inside, wasn't able to get there. Scott Austin holds on to the pole spot here tonight, the 39. Bill Martin already up 3 spots. He was quick here in practice, and already up to third spot. Behind him, it's Zach Cold Beer Coyer looking to try and get it done here tonight. He's running in fourth spot. Jeff Dillon in the top 5 running 5th. Brian Hacker up a spot trying to catch him, and so is Justin Rigsby. Rigsby sits in the 7th position in his number 99. Dylan Blankenship has fallen 4 positions here already in his 05. He's going to try and catch him back up. Colin Phillip and Andy Lambert rounding out the top 10 as we've got some action all over the track here. Rick, this is starting off much better than last week already.
Yeah, already we're only on lap 4, 100, Chris, and guys are starting to figure out they're making some quick moves there. Of course, we stopped at the top 10, but you got Al Smith Jr. in the 96, who is not in his paint that he's supposed to be in, so we're gonna have to get on him a little bit, but he is up 1 position into 11th. You got Rob Liddell up 2. He's sitting in 12th right now in that 80 machine with James Somke right behind him in the 01, 13th. Thomas Killam in the 83 sitting in 14th. He fell down 4 since the green flag, Chris. So he's going to try to figure this thing out and get down to where he wants to go. Right behind Killam is the 44 of Mark Frapper with Jeffrey Stiles behind him in the 85 and 16th. Michael Frapper, Mark's brother, sitting in 17th, up 3 positions. And then we have Rex Hoyle in the 54 and 18th. AJ Hamill 19th right now with that 18 machine. So those 2 guys, 18th, 19th, Rex Hoyle and AJ, have not moved yet. They're holding their own right now from where they started. Kevin Dillon up 5 positions already, Chris, in 20th position in his number 26 with Mike Holscott right behind them, trying to figure out the way to go on that outside lane there. Then we got the 81 of J-Mac in 22nd, Wayne McDuff the 3rd. Wild Wayne down 1 position in 23rd. Travis Pryor is, I'm not sure what, he's a different color to me. So the 2 machine having some issues here at Myrtle Beach. Doug Wysocki, and it looks like Jeffrey Clifton did not actually take the green, Chris.
Yeah, 2 non-starters, and that is what's messing you up, Rick. He is down a lap, Travis Pryor. But yeah, I understand that confusion because it looks like those other 2 drivers did not take the green. And speaking of taking, Bill Martin has gotten around everybody that was in front of him since the beginning of this race. Bill Martin is your race leader, kind of coming out of nowhere to kind of put the pressure on and take off. So Bill Martin in his 39, the race leader. AJ Rogers gonna try and figure out a way to try and catch him back up. Scott Austin sits in 3rd. Hacker is under attack from Cold Beer Coyer. Coyer to the outside, trying to make it happen. And across the start finish line, heading into turns 1 and 2. We haven't talked about them yet, but we'll look out for those turtle shells between 1 and 2. They can ruin your night very quickly. Rick, you had brought up something. I gotta get it out here. 10th place runner Al Smith Jr. Running the same paint as he was last week. Folks, I don't know if you know about this or not, but after the race last week, it was decided that Al was supposed to be painting his own vehicle in a certain fashion. He did not do that. And so what that means is I have to download a program so that I can try and paint a car. I'm going to paint the car. He's going to have to run it. And every week that he doesn't, I'm going to have to dock him as he is a member here of the Turn 3 Racing Network. I'm not going to stand by somebody saying that they're going to do something, Rick, and not doing it.
Yeah, and he's in for a treat, Chris, because I've seen your excellent painting skills, and I think it's going to be good. I mean, it's very important that we got to try to keep a sponsor on the car somewhere, because you know that's what Racing for a Cause is all about. But you're right, man. He did say that he was going to run. We even gave him the opportunity, because at first it was supposed to be me painting the car for him, and I was all for it. But then we were nice and said, if you want to paint it, go for it. He picked out a couple of things. We both agreed to it, or all 3 of us agreed to it, and he said he was going to get it done, and then he didn't.
So that's the last we're going to talk about him unless he crashes. Yeah, I'm done with him. That's it. It's not true. I'll talk about him some more. Up front, though, it is Bill Martin, and man, is he picking up a race lead. 1.6 seconds now over AJ Rogers. And Martin, during practice, something clicked, and he found something that he is really liking around this half-mile track, and he is exploiting the heck out of it right now. 1.74 across the line.
And one thing that was kind of interesting, Chris, about the guy who's sitting in 6th place right now, that would be Zach Coldbeer Coyer. He came in late to practice, so he didn't get as much practice time as some of these drivers. Now, not all 26 drivers were in here for practice, but there was a good majority of guys out there. But listen, folks, if you watched the debate last night and you still don't know, you're still shaking your head, don't know who you're going to vote for, listen, Randy Marsh 2020. And I know Zach, he's out there, he's driving hard right now just because he just got done watching just an hour ago the South Park. Okay, the special, 1 hour special. Great. And I watched it too and I laughed a little bit, but Randy Marsh 2020, we thought this was America. Get away from that two-party thing. That's right. Get away from the two-party thing. Right in Randy Marsh. Let's get it done.
Oh boy.
I'm Randy Marsh. Haggity Farms. We approve of this message. Got to make it official.
Andy Lambert, tonight's sponsor, sitting in the 9th position after starting 11th here. So he's slowly working his way up and patiently, as he's still kind of learning the car. Another one of those drivers that came into practice just a little bit late. Real life getting in the way, like, you know, work.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now, so far the biggest mover up, Chris, is the guy sitting in 14th position. That's the 26 and Kevin Dillon, up 11 spots so far from the green flag here. And compared to what we saw last week at the paperclip, this has been an outstanding race. I mean, we're already on lap 21 of 100. Bill Martin just pulling away like we talked about. Huge gap right now. That's the only thing I can say, you know, that's Trump related. Huge. 2.60 seconds and gaining a little bit from Brian Hacker. Hacker has moved up 5 positions. This is where we normally like to see Hacker, and we're so used to seeing him having a great night here. Now, we talked about turtle shells a little bit, Chris. You know, last Saturday, you and I were lucky enough to do a special broadcast for Not the Battle, and we saw some SK modifieds around this track, and I want to thank Roger once again for the awesome camera pack, because I'm using it again today. Camera pack is mint. But we saw those turtle shell give those SK cars a lot of heck there last Saturday. And so far, these guys are being very aware of those things, staying up a little bit and out of their way. But if they start coming down a little bit, I mean, I'm seeing some oil pans getting damaged here tonight. Yeah,
I am too. And the other thing I'm seeing, Rick, is it's constant now around the entire track. The rotors are glowing. These guys are using up some brake pads here at Myrtle Beach. The other thing I'm watching, AJ Rogers. He started up in 2nd spot. He had the lead for a moment, and now AJ starting to slip back just a little bit. Rick, he's running in the 4th position. Scott Austin is right behind him. Scott Austin, our pole sitter here tonight, running in the 5th position.
Austin and Rogers have been battling for most of the night here so far, Chris, since they were at the front and kind of fell back a little ways. They got to be careful because Rigsby's starting to come up behind them in 6th position. He's knocking on the back door there to get into the top 5. And you're right, man. Look at them. Rotors just glowing. Let me tell you, I'm glad that we went to Sandusky, Ohio, and we got a nice guarantee from Callahan Auto Parts that these things are going to be fine all the way through. Now, these guys cannot stop for tires tonight. They can go in, they can fix some damage, they can get a tank of fuel. I know that we're running 22 gallons here tonight, which is something that these guys aren't really used to, Chris. Usually Andy will adjust the fuel a little bit in the fuel cells, but tonight these guys are running with a full load, so I don't think anybody's really going to have to come down too much here, as we've been under green for a while, and I'm sure these cars are just, they're feeling great. Let me tell you, Rigsby looking on the inside there of Rogers. Rigsby not giving up on that battle right now. But right next to him on the outside, here comes Zach Coldbeer Coyer, trying to get that 13 Integrity Farms to do what he wants. He moves down into the inside there of AJ Rogers.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of damage on the left front of Zach Coyer, as it looks like that fender crinkled up just a little bit over the tire, but no big deal for Coyer. That's just a normal night's drive after having a few. Coyer sitting in the 7th spot, trying to improve. Behind him, it's Colin Phillip, and Phillip, oh boy. Oh, it's a big checkup. Oh, Andy Lambert checks up for Colin Phillip, and then Al Smith gets right into the back door of Andy Lambert. They all stay straight. And sometimes that's just the way it happens, Rick. Last week, if that same thing happened, it would have caused 16 cautions in one lap with 2 black flags and 47 injured drivers. Oh, shoot, I did. Caution flag on the field. And it's Liddell. Let's go back and take a look at the 80. Where is he? There he is. Oh, yeah. Picked him up just a little too late. Let's go back one more time. Liddell out there, just ahead of the one car of Wayne McDuff. McDuff comes into him. 2 guys fighting for the same space, and Rick on a short track, that just doesn't work out. Nifty little move there by Liddell to get that thing spun right back around. But here we are, first caution of the night, and it is Liddell and Wayne McDuff III. Well, unlike last week, tonight caution laps are going to count. So even though we're under caution here, the pace for this race is much quicker and should be done very quick. 50 miles when you're doing about 80 miles an hour. I think we can all do that math. Except for Al. Al can't do that math.
Al can't do that math, no. You know, one of the reasons why we are counting caution laps this week is just because of the debacle that was Martinsville last week, Chris. I mean, we went a little over our time. Usually these guys have pretty good runs, and being short track racing, you know, usually we are done right around 10 o'clock, and we were close to 11 there last week. And I mean, it was a tough race there at the paperclip. We knew that these guys can do better, and they got a good start out here tonight. You know, first caution coming out at lap 31. Hard racing. I mean, Liddell just got into the wall just a little bit, Chris, and it just sent him down into the one of Wild Wayne. And you know, it could have been a lot worse, but everybody hung on. And one nice thing now is that we are counting cautions. That means the lucky dog is back, so anybody who was on, or whoever was the first person one lap down, gonna get a lap back. So that's going to be good. But one person who didn't want to see this, that was Bill Martin with his huge lead that he had there in his lighthearted ale number 39 machine, Chris. He was pulling away quite a bit from Hacker. Now, one thing about Hacker, we saw all last season, very good on the restarts. Of course, he's got to wait until the 39 goes before he can really do anything. He can't just jump the gun. But I don't know. I think Martin might be in for a little bit of heartache. And, of course, Jeff Dillon, last spring champion in the 52, going to be starting right behind Bill Martin. So some big names out there. Of course, you got Scott Austin, Justin Rigsby, AJ Rogers, Zach Coyer, Colin Phillip, Andy Lambert, Al Smith, rounding out that top 10. So some big names there, and anything can happen on this restart.
Oh, anything can happen, and it's bound to. Pace car drops down onto pit road. Bill Martin and Brian Hacker line them up mirror to mirror, ready to go one more time. They come out of turn number 4. Bill Martin hits the gas pedal. Here we go, back under green for just the second time here tonight. Brian Hacker has got to try and do something quick because we know Bill Martin is fast. Hacker has got to try and figure out a way to either match time or beat time for Bill Martin. Brian Hacker has not had the luck of the Irish so far this season. And right now, one lap in, Rick, he's 0.5 of a second slow. Or excuse me, yeah, 0.5 of a second. That's right. It's a half a second.
Half a second. There
However
you
you count it.
Makes it even easier.
Jeff Dillon sits in the 3rd spot. Scott Austin in 4th. AJ Rogers pops out to the outside. That's going to allow Rigsby down to the inside. Rigsby taking advantage, going through turns 1 and 2. Justin Rigsby in the 99. Now down below the 5 of Scott Austin. Rigsby trying to get to this lap. He's, I don't know if he's going to get there, Rick. He had to get on the brakes pretty hard coming into turn 3. Now coming out of 4, though, and it is Austin holding on. Rigsby battles back again in through 1 and 2, staying off from those turtle shells. Rigsby has the advantage going down the backstretch.
Yeah, he definitely does. And right now, those guys banging doors a little bit there, Chris. It seems like the 5 Boston gets a really good run. He keeps a little bit more momentum going through the corner, but as soon as Rigsby on that low inside lane, he gets a little bit more momentum. As you see, he gets around the 5 now. Now here comes AJ Rogers in the 17. He had to check up a little bit, but he is putting a lot of pressure on Austin right now. AJ Rogers right now, the 17 machine sitting in 6th, still trying to knock into the top 5 there, but they got to be careful. Ooh, Zach Colbier-Coyer in the wall. That allows Al Smith to get around him and AJ Rogers. The 53 also able to get around. Of course, 53, Colin Phillip in that beautiful back the blue car. Working hard on the inside right now. It was Zach Coyer, but Coyer hanging on strong on the outside.
Yeah, Coyer doing everything he can, but the outside just has not come in yet. Oh, Coyer has to go outside in order to stay out of the back bumper, and we stay green flag somehow. back up towards the front, running in 6th spot. Al Smith Jr. He's up 6 spots. Our big mover of the race still, though, Kevin Dillon up 12 positions in that number 26. Dillon having a good ride out of that Ford. He's to the outside of Andy Lambert. Lambert has slipped back just a little bit, Rick. He's down to 14th not so long ago. Him and Al Smith were running nose to tail.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. And there's a lot of action going on back here. Just outside the top 10, there's a big gaggle of cars. I'm watching the 85 do all kinds of moves. He gets around Zach Colbier Coyer. Coyer falls down into 12th position. He's got the 26 of Kevin Dillon working on the outside. Of course, Andy's stuck there too. So these guys racing 2x2 right now, trying to figure it out.
Speaking of 2x2, the 18 of AJ Hamill goes side by side with Rogers, but only for a moment. Hamill now into 9th position. Rogers going backwards. Excuse me, Rogers in 9th position. Hamill in 8th.
Yeah.
Little correction there. Meanwhile, back up front, 0.4 of a second is the gap between Bill Martin and Brian Hacker. Hacker very, very slowly starting to catch the back bumper of Martin, and he's got to go because Jeff Dillon is also picking up some speed here in that number 52. Dillon running in 3rd position, trying to catch Hacker. Hacker running in 2nd position, trying to catch Martin. Martin running in the 1st position, trying not to get caught at all.
Yeah, Rigsby, sitting in 4th, Chris. He's in a good spot right now, but Jeff Dillon pulling away almost 2 seconds ahead of him right now. So Rigsby has a little bit of work to do now. He's worked hard to get up to where he is, passing 4 cars since the green flag of this thing, but up near that wall, he's got to be careful. The 99 does not seem too happy right now, but he'll get it figured out.
What I'm seeing is these guys have speed all around the track, and if they choose to juice it just a little bit in the corners, they can hold it. Little reference there. Had to do it.
Had to do it. One guy that's holding on, Chris, he's in 8th place right now, the 53 of Colin Phillip. Trying to find a way around the Green Mountain Madman there in the 18 to empty the tanks machine, but right now not able to do it. Here comes Rex Hoyle in the 54 working the inside. Had to check up a little bit so he didn't get into the back end of the 18, but the 54 still holding on strong on the inside. Right now, Phillip, he's having some issues there on the outside lane, Chris, and he's got to be careful because the 85 of Jeff Styles right there behind him.
Yeah, Styles looking to fill a hole, and he does it. He's to the inside of Phillip. Styles gonna go around on the back stretch. Can he hold on through the corner? The 53 comes down, slight contact made, and Phillip gives up the spot. So Jeff Styles all of a sudden running inside of the top 10, running 9th position. Phillip slips back to 10th. Speaking of slipping back, Rick, how about AJ Rogers slips back 9 positions back to 11th after starting on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, Rogers, again, new tire model, Chris, so they had a couple an extra hour of practice here tonight. And some guys figured it out, but this is something that we're not used to seeing out of Rogers. Usually he's pretty good. Maybe it's just he doesn't really like Myrtle Beach all that much. But like Andy said, I'm glad that it is here on the service, with the grandstands being torn down and another great short track gone. Pretty much forever, Chris. It brings a tear to my eye just thinking about it because, right down the road from me and not far from you, Catamount, kind of the same thing. And I like to go there every now and then. You can still see where, the banking and the turns was, but it is a totally different area now. And it's just sad when we lose a piece of history like that.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, it seems too easy for people to sell these short tracks. And I guess I get it. Look, there's either support for the track or there's not. And it's a shame that the support went away for such an iconic little track. Right now, Rick, I'm watching the 11th place runner, Kevin Dillon. He's up 14 spots. He's the biggest mover of the race so far, the hard charger. And Dillon has got a rear bumper full of Jimmy McIntyre Jr.
Dillon doing a fabulous job, Chris. Up 14 positions from the green flag, like you said. And we're already past halfway. These guys are cruising around the beach here tonight, man.
Check in with our race leader. It's Bill Martin still in he is starting to open up that lead just a little bit. It's 0.8 of a second, maybe scooting down just a little bit and then extends back out. But yeah, Bill Martin is our race leader, and you see him driving around some slower traffic. Brian Hacker in second spot. Jeff Dillon all over the back bumper of Hacker in that 11 machine. So Brian is going very well, but you know, maybe just needs to figure out one more little thing on these, let's call them brand new super late models. With that new tire package, they are going to drive a little bit different. And tonight it's all about who's figuring it out the quickest. Right now, the answer to that, it's Bill Martin, who is out again about 0.8 of a second over Brian Hacker.
Guys, I've been watching a little battle here for 16th position. The 36, Michael Frabber, doing a fabulous job, finally getting clear of Mike Holzclaw in the 22, who is sitting in 17th position. Both those drivers are up now 5, and they got Thomas Killam right behind Mike Holzclaw. Mark Frabber trying to figure it out there on the 44. Only fallen 3 positions here since the green flag, but a huge thing. It's 17 sitting on pit road right now, Chris.
Yeah, AJ Rogers on pit road, and it looks like he's not the only one. Zach Coyer came down pit road, Rick, and doesn't look like he has come back out. So field's starting to, well, it's starting to get a little smaller here as the laps tick down. Some 37 laps to go here from Myrtle Beach. I want to thank everybody once again for turning in to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Really, guys, we do appreciate it. We couldn't do this without you. And, well, I mean, I guess we could, but I don't know what the reason would be. Rick, do you have a reason? I can't think of one without fans.
No, I mean, we do this for the fans, Chris, and, you know, of course, we do it for the drivers, too, and their family members. I mean, you know, Racing for a Cause holds a very near and dear spot in our heart. Obviously, you, me, and Andy, we started this thing, and, you know, Andy kept it going, staying with the short track stuff on Wednesday night with, you know, started out with late models, and we went to the super late models, and it's been a joy ever since. But, you know, so it's always good for the fans and the family especially, to go out there and they can root on their driver either here live with us or, you know, throughout the week when they have time. But really, Chris, I mean, the reason why we do it for the fans, and of course the Racing for a Cause. We like to bring awareness to the causes out there, kind of like, you know, Andy, who presented this race here with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and that's what it's all about, man.
You know, Rick, I was just thinking I'm going to have to come up with a little something for Al Smith. I know he's listening because, look, we all do it. We can't help ourselves. We have to listen to how the broadcast is going. So, Al, I'm going to give you this little option.
You can't give him an option.
No, you're going to like this one. You're going to like this. Al Smith, if you can win tonight, and it has to be a victory, I'll let you off the hook for my paint job. Otherwise, it is my paint job next Wednesday night right here from Racing for a Cause. I think it's fair. Rick. 32 laps to go. Bill Martin with a pretty solid lead. Al Smith running in 5th spot right now. I'm watching AJ Hamill. He's done some moving himself here tonight, Rick. He's up 12 spots, sitting in 7th spot without Rail Research Machine. The 18 Vermont car doing a fine job right now, just behind Scott Austin. Scott Austin, let's recall, was our pole sitter here tonight.
You're absolutely right, Chris. And I think we got to talk about, you know, talk to AJ about that too, because I don't think he resides in Vermont anymore. So
maybe the car owner.
Okay, we'll give it that. We know that's Art's Barbershop.
Yeah.
And beautiful Morrisville, Vermont. If you need a haircut, make sure you head on over to Art's Barbershop before you head to the nation's site of excitement. That would be Barry, Thunder Road.
And last event happening for the season at Thunder Road this coming weekend. It's going to be 3 days. Combined racing, all called the Milk Bowl. Only in Vermont, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I can't wait to see Andrew Hill and his team with Corliss behind the wheel kissing another cow. Hopefully he gets the wrong end this year. Give that kid a cow patty. He deserves it. Let me tell you, AJ Hamill working hard on trying to find a way to get around the 5 of Austin. Drivers got to try to figure out what lane they want to be, Chris. They're trying to do what the SK modifieds are doing, making those things, 47 feet wide. Either going high or you're going low, or you're stacking up the field.
That's it. I mean, and it's happening. AJ Hamel, by virtue of not being able to get around the 5, has a rear bumper full of Jeff Styles. Styles getting racy here tonight.
Yeah, he really is, Chris, trying to figure out what he wants to do. Mania sitting there on the hood of that machine.
Look at that. AJ Hamel goes around and brings Jeff Styles along for the ride. How about Rex Hoyle? He comes through along with Colin Phillips. Scott Austin going backwards.
Now, one interesting thing we talked about earlier in the broadcast is the way that we do qualifying here. So the top 10 at the end of this race, the field will be inverted. So whoever's in 10th will be starting on the pole next week as we head to Las Vegas to the Bull Ring, Chris. I mean, that's going to be interesting. I mean, you got to love short track racing, and it's cool that, we get to watch it every Wednesday night here for the fall and the spring season. Of course, these guys taking the summer off because a lot of these drivers either follow around a bunch of racers to their local track, or a lot of them are either crew or real drivers. So the summer gets pretty busy, but Andy keeping these guys busy during their off time, getting their racing fixed, and so far, so good.
Yeah, speaking of so far so good, it's starting to get pretty good here for Brian Hacker in second spot. At one point, Bill Martin had about a second lead on Brian Hacker, and that's been cut down, Rick, very, very quickly to about 0.3 of a second. Bill Martin having a little trouble working around these slower cars, and Hacker's just kind of following him through. And speaking of Brian Hacker, why don't we go ahead and, we're going to jump inside the cockpit, maybe take a lap or two around this little half-mile track with Brian Hacker as he's trying to chase down Bill Martin. Brian Hacker out towards the wall, and you can hear those tires. They're starting to scream here with 21 laps to go. And onto the throttle he gets, very slowly onto the throttle. So that's telling me the power isn't exactly getting down to the track here, and wants to make sure he doesn't spin that car. The 11 is the one we're on board with, the second place runner, Brian Hacker.
And I'd definitely like to thank the Smith Racing guys there who own the number 11 Rescue Ranch Beagle Freedom Project number 11 for getting this to that in-car view on Brian Hacker's helmet. Ooh, you see Bill Martin almost got into those turtle shells, Chris.
It's all it takes, one little second of a lapse of concentration. You will touch those turtles and bad things happen.
I mean, this race went quick compared to last week, Chris. Here it is. It's only 9:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the East Coast, where the Turn 3 Racing Network headquarters is located, and we got 17 laps left to go as they cross the start-finish line, Chris.
Yeah, 17 laps to go, and Hacker is, let's face it, he's there, Rick. Now just needs an opportunity. Third place runner Jeff Dillon kind of running by himself, as is the 99 of Rigsby. Now, from what I just saw, it looks like Al Smith starting to close in on Rigsby. So Smith might be looking for 4th spot. Back up for our race lead challenge. Wayne McDuff III, the first car in front of Bill Martin, already down, not on the lead lap. So let's see how he decides to get out of the way. Kind of a gentleman's agreement here to get out of the way of the race leaders, especially if they're racing. And that's exactly what's happening. And Wayne McDuff III, he goes up to the top side. And that puts the 83 in check.
Let me tell you, Chris, I'm watching the 39 and the 11 right now as we got 14 laps to go. And a couple of different lines being run by 1 and 2 right now. Hacker trying to keep it down a little further. Of course, as they come down across the start-finish line, Hacker is a little higher than what he normally was, but tires definitely screaming. Yeah.
Killam gets into the wall, but able to keep it going as he was trying to get out of the way of the race leaders, trying to do the right thing. But again, a slight lapse in concentration is all it takes around these short tracks, Rick. And you will find the wall very, very quickly. 12 laps to go. The flash bulbs have been going off all night long in the fan stands, and we are getting ready to meet 11 laps to go. Bill Martin coming out of turn number 4. Very smooth, and he has been since he's taken over the lead.
Yeah, he really has been. I mean, there's only been a couple of times that I've actually seen him get down below the white line as they turn into one, Chris. And of course, we know that's right where those turtle shells are as you're coming off pit road. And now he's trying to keep it up just a little bit more. This time by, he looks like he's kind of following what Hacker was doing there as he comes out of 4 going across the start finish line. We have 10 laps left to go.
10 to go. 2 hands full of fingers outstretched towards Bill Martin to indicate that 10 laps to go. And he is starting to pull away from Brian Hacker once again. 0.6 of a second right now as he comes out of turn 4. Hacker may have used up his stuff trying to get to the back bumper of Martin, or maybe Martin was trying to save some of his stuff. All this stuff has to be decided here with 9 laps to go, Rick. And these things are kicking off very quickly. Sub 20 seconds here for our race leaders.
And right now, just with a couple more than a handful of laps left to go, 8 laps left to go, Chris, the 39 of Martin starting to catch up to the 22 of Mike Holzclaw. Now, Holzclaw sitting in 15th position. He is up 6 positions from the start of this race, but he's looking to be put down a lap.
Yeah, unfortunately for the 22, I think Bill Martin is going to catch him maybe here on this coming lap. 7 to go for our race leader. The diagonal stripe flag was shown to the 22, indicating the driver was behind him and to try and clear the way, and he does. He goes up to the top side. Bill Martin drops down to the bottom. The 11, Brian Hacker, gonna catch him on turns 1 and 2 and goes around Holtzclaw. So both of our lead drivers have now gone past Holtzclaw with a little bit of clean track now ahead of them with 6 laps to go. Next time by, 1 hand outstretched, 5 fingers, 5 laps to go as Bill Martin crosses the start finish line. Coming out of turn number 2 now, Bill Martin and Brian Hacker really is the story here. Hacker had gotten about 0.2 of a second from the rear bumper of Bill Martin, and then Martin seemed to have found another gear out of that number 39. He's starting to pull away once again. The lead back up to about 0.6 of a second between Bill Martin and Brian Hacker, and Hacker, I think, may have used up his tires, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the Rescue Ranch number 11 here for a few laps, Chris, and he's trying to find that speed once again, trying a couple different lines, going down a little bit lower, getting right on that white line around the turtle shells and everything, but now he's trying to up just about a half a lane up, trying to figure out if he can catch up to the 39, but right now Bill Martin seems that he has this thing locked in. 3 laps left to go as they head into turn number 4.
On the backstretch now.
Yeah, now we have 2 laps left to go as they go into 1.
Obstacle sticks in the air, the white flag and checkered flag, both in the flagman's hands, clinched, ready to be used as we have a race leader that's coming out of turn number 4. He's going to accept the white flag this time. 1 lap to go for Bill Martin. Bill Martin heads down into turns 1 and 2. The 01 just ahead of him. That's James Somke. Somke running in 14th spot. Not going to be a factor in this one as the 39 dives down into turns 3 and 4. Now Bill Martin comes down onto the front stretch and crosses the start finish line. Your race winner. Brian Hacker, Jeff Dillon going to pick up 2nd and 3rd. Justin Rigsby, Al Smith Jr., 4th and 5th. AJ Hamill up 13 spots to take over 6th position. Jeff Stiles up 10 to take over 7th. And the hard charger this week, Jamie McIntyre Jr. up 15 positions to take 8th position. Rex Hoyle in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Colin Phillip.
Yeah, so next week, Colin Phillip looking to take the pole at the bull ring. That's going to be fun.
Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a moment, come back to you with post-race interviews. We will be back in about 30 seconds. Back live here from Myrtle Beach Speedway, and the race is done. One caution for the entire race and a marked improvement over last week. Finishing in third spot tonight, he was up 2 positions from the beginning of this race. It's the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Jeff, Chris, Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy? Let me try that again. And Jeff, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yep, I got you guys.
All right, Jeff. Hey, listen, bud, you didn't go very far up the charts, but you did manage yourself a nice top 3 finish here tonight. What was the difference between your car and, say, Brian Hacker or Bill Martin's car tonight?
I think those guys are running a little better line than I was. They could really get closer to the wall on exit, and I was kind of being too cautious, and I think that really helped their speed down the straightaway. Then I'll drive in too deep to try to gain on them, and with this new build, it got too tight in the center. I probably just wore my tires out a little more than they did.
Gotcha. And listen, like I said, though, a third place finish, not a bad place to be. Who do you got on that 52 that you need to thank tonight?
I'd like to thank Andy and everyone else in this league that puts on a good show, and for you guys for broadcasting, and all my teammates, Zach. I know you had problems tonight, but Travis and Kevin Dillon. Yeah, let's go clean the race. A lot of fun, and I'll quit next week.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on that third place finish. And like you said, it was a lot of fun. Congratulations once again to you, Jeff. That was pretty cool, man. Thank you. And that was Jeff Dillon finishing in second tonight. I believe Rick caught up with the number 11 car of Brian Hacker.
I did. The driver of the number 11 Smith Motorsports, or Smith Racing Rescue Ranch Beagle Freedom Project. I'm going to get it out here eventually, Brian. But Brian Hacker, congratulations, man. You came in second tonight.
Yeah, it's about time. We've had a kind of shaky start to the season. New car, I think, as everybody knows, and I hadn't gotten anything in it until we jumped in for practice. But I think I'm going to like it. We were able to shake it down. We were pretty quick. Obviously, to keep pace there for a little while with Bill Martin shows that we have a little speed. He's one of the best in the sim at these cars, and any car for that matter. So happy with our night, that's for sure.
I mean, very well deserved, and this is where we're used to seeing that 11 machine, and you almost had him there a couple of times, man. So obviously, you talked about the new build here with the super late models. You seem pretty happy with it. The car looked good. It's nice and clean, and I want to thank you for letting us come on board with you as you went around a couple laps here at Myrtle Beach, man. Is there anybody on that 11 that you'd like to thank here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Brought Rescue Ranch on board for this season. That's Ryan Newman's rescue project that he's got going on. Pretty cool what he does. Take a look at that. Check out their website. And Beagle Freedom Project, who's been in the car since I started running with Racing for a Cause back when you guys started the whole thing up in 2017 is when I joined. So they've been on my car for a long time. They're a really cool organization, and my Beagle is around here somewhere. I'm sure she's sleeping right now, but cool to have them on the car. Smith Racing Inc. You guys for doing this, Andy for putting it on. It was a pretty smooth race, and kudos to everybody out there tonight. 100 laps and 1 caution is pretty damn good.
That race went by really good, man. You did a fabulous job, up 5 positions from the start of the race. So congratulations. Next week, it looks like you're going to be starting what, 8th?
Yeah, 8th or 9th probably, but that's all right. I think we're at Bullring next week, which is good. I like that track. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we can get the 11 machine back up front.
All right, buddy. Hey, listen, congratulations. Go down and celebrate with the team and bring that momentum next week.
Thanks, Rick.
And that was Brian Hacker, driver of the number 11, finishing in second spot tonight. And of course, that leaves us with just 1 driver left. And it looks like his mic is muted. Oh, there he is. It's the driver of the number 39. It's Bill Martin. Bill, Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, bud, you first lap you'd gained 3 spots, and then it was just a short time after you took over the race lead, and really didn't have to look back too much, except for towards the end. Hacker started coming. Were you saving stuff at the end of that, and he caught you then, or was he sneaking up on you throughout the entire race? What was going on out there?
If I tell you, then you're gonna know what I was doing.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll tell you.
All right, cool.
No, well, before, on the initial green, I was getting spots, I think primarily because the car's brand new, and everybody in front of me was slipping and sliding around just trying to get used to it and acclimated to it. It takes the car like 3-4 laps before you can really get comfortable on hitting the gas pedal. So I was just taking advantage of them slipping up. I figured, hold on a second.
Tell Andy to stop talking there.
There we go. I shut it off. and yeah, I just whenever there's a new car, I usually acclimate to it really quickly. But then like 2 or 3 weeks later, everybody's better than me. And I was just, taking advantage of the fact they were slipping the slide and it worked out. And then I got a pretty comfortable lead. But as soon as the yellow flag came out, we were all finding out for the first time what tires do after the yellow flag comes out, and they equalize big time. And I couldn't pull away. And as far as him catching me at the end, we were both, I think, trying way too hard. And I did a better job of it barely.
I got you.
He wore out just a little quicker than I did. But I was trying pretty hard, and I was getting nowhere. So I tried backing off a little bit. And at that point, he started burning up a little. So I was like, all right, good. There's no more laps left because this car is dead. Super, super dead.
Well, I'm looking over the paint for the Lighthearted Ale number 39 here. Do you think you got a little bit of extra help from the tape on the hood, maybe?
That's exactly why I put pretend tape on the hood.
That is excellent.
That's a very important trick. If you guys don't know what that's for, then I invite you down to your local short track anytime. Bill, who do you got on that 39 that you need to thank tonight, bud?
I want to thank Lighthearted Ale for having no idea that they're my sponsor. So thanks to them for absolutely nothing. I've never even actually had one of those before. It's just my friend was drinking one night, and I said, hey, that would look good on a race car. I'm going to put it on a race car. So I did. And then I won a race. That was the second race I think I ran with it. But the first official one, technically official, I mean, you know what I mean, league race. So that's a pretty good start.
Absolutely, bud. Well, thank you once again for joining us up here in the booth. We'll let you go down and celebrate with the guys.
Thanks, man.
Bill Martin, driver of the number 39. Always a pleasure to talk to him. And it was a good win for him out there. And I've actually talked to him a couple of times. He's a funny dude. And speaking of funny dudes, Rick, Al Smith did not win this race.
No, he didn't. So it looks like you need to download either GIMP or Photoshop or something. And if you need some help with some tutorials, I can help you out a little bit. But we don't want the car to look too good, so I don't want to do too much. And it looks like you got some painting to do, bud. Yeah,
I've got some ideas for sure. I may need a little help executing my wonderful ideas, and I know that you'll be there.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Driver the number 96, you got Al Smith Jr., you got Rick and Chris up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you. How are you?
Oh, a lot better than what you're going to be next week there. We noticed you had the same paint scheme, so you got some watching to do to find out what Chris is going to be doing for you.
Yeah, we got a little bit behind in the paint booth this week. We're supposed to have Make-A-Wish on the car this week, but this wasn't in the cards. Hopefully by next week we'll have the paint on.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Al, I have to download a paint program, and then I have to figure out how to do it. But for next week, I am painting your car. So don't bother. Right. It's on me now because you couldn't be bothered to do it yourself. Also, congratulations on a 5th place finish. How did the car feel?
Thanks. Honestly, I wasn't really sure where that run was going to come from tonight. As you guys probably already talked about, we got a brand new tire compound that Andy gave us tonight, and it was kind of interesting there. Had a really good long run speed car, and to start 12th and come home with a top 5, I'll take it. The car felt really good. It was a little snug in practice, but in the race it felt much better. I don't know if the driver was just taking his time or not.
All right, bud. Well, I just wanted to, I guess Rick really wanted to be the one to tell you, expect a paint job, and keep in mind that this will be the second car ever that I've painted. And it's only been about a year and a half since I painted my last one. So expect some good things out of the League paint shop. And we look forward to seeing that Mustang right on track next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Al Smith Jr., driver of the 96, and I can't promise it's going to look good, but we're going to give it a go. And speaking of go, we are done, guys. We hope you have a very excellent night. Finish out the week strong. Tomorrow is Thursday. One more day to go before we hit those beautiful words. It's finally Friday. Rick, you have yourself a good night. Race fans, you too. Stay safe out there, everybody.